When you are dreaming, everything feels real. Every moment, every sensation feels true. But the moment you wake, you realize it was only a dream. And yet, who realized this? Who was awake enough to know that the dream was a dream? And here is another question. How do you know you are awake right now? What you are hearing, what you are seeing in this very moment, how do you know this is not a dream too? This is not just your question. This is the question the Mandukya Upanishad itself asks, and its answer is hidden in a single word, Turiya. In the last two episodes, we spoke of three states, Vaishvanara, Taijasa, and Prajna, waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, three faces of the same self. And beyond all three, there is a fourth. That fourth is Turiya. Today we speak of it. This is the seventh mantra of the Mandukya Upanishad, and it is the heart of the entire text. But before we begin, you should meet someone, Gaudapada, the teacher of Shankaracharya's teacher. He wrote his own independent verses on this very Upanishad, the Gaudapada Karika. These verses deepen the feeling of each mantra. When Shankaracharya studied this Upanishad, he studied Gaudapada's verses alongside it and then wrote a single commentary on both together. So this text carries two voices, Gaudapada's verses and Shankaracharya's explanation of them. In three important verses, Gaudapada lays out something worth sitting with. People have always held different views about how creation came to be. Some say this universe emerged from God, the way light spreads outward from the sun. Some say it is like a dream, like an illusion, the way a magician performs on stage and what you see is not real, yet you keep watching anyway. Some say it happened simply because God willed it, and whatever is willed comes into being. And some say creation is God's play, the way a child plays for no reason at all, simply for the joy of playing. Gaudapada says all of these are simply the thoughts of those who are still thinking about creation. Why? Because what lies hidden behind the veil of illusion is the only real truth. And asking how creation came to be is like asking inside a dream how the dream was made. Once you wake, the question itself disappears. So Gaudapada moves us directly toward that fourth state. And Shankaracharya says, now, in sequence, we must speak of the fourth. It lies beyond the reach of words, and so it cannot truly be described in words. And yet, scripture dares to try. Here is the seventh mantra. Na antah prajnam, na bahish prajnam, no bhayatah prajnam, na prajnana ghanam, na prajnam, na aprajnam, adrishtam avyavaharyam, agrahyam, alakshanam, achintyam, avyapadeshyam, ekatma pratyayasaram, prapanch opashamam, shantam, shivam, advaitam, chaturtham manyante, sa atma, sa vijneya. It is not a dream, it is not waking, it is not some in-between state hovering between the two. It is not deep sleep either. It cannot be seen, cannot be touched, cannot be grasped. It carries no mark, it cannot be thought, it cannot be spoken. Then what is it? It is the experience that remains the same across all three states, waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. It is the one constant. It is this, I am. It is beyond all division. It does not change. It knows no duality. It is Shiva. They call it the fourth. It is the self. And it alone is worth knowing. Pause here. Don't rush past this mantra. It first tells you what Turiya is not, and only then what it is. Na antah pragnam. It is not the dreaming state, not the one that looks inward. Na bahish pragnam, it is not the waking state, not the one that looks outward. Na ubhayatah pragnam, it is neither, nor is it some state between the two. Na prajna ghanam, it is not deep sleep, not that dense, undifferentiated state where everything collapses into one. Na pragnam, it is not the knower of everything at once. Na apragnam, and it is not unconscious either. Shankaracharya explains why each of these is denied. Because everything within the three states was in some way bound. Taijasa was bound to dreaming. Vaishvanara was bound to waking. Prajna was bound to deep sleep. Turiya is bound to nothing. And so it can only be pointed to by denying everything else. Here is an image that may help. A lamp is lit. In its light, everything in the room becomes visible. The chair, the table, the wall. But by what light is the lamp itself seen? It needs no other light to be seen. It is light itself. In the same way, Turiya illuminates waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Yet it is never illuminated by anything else. It is light itself. This is why it cannot be spoken of in the language of the three states. So what is Turiya? Adrishtam, unseen, beyond the reach of any sense. Avyavaharyam, beyond all transaction. It cannot be bought, cannot be sold, cannot be given, cannot be received. Agrahyam, it cannot be grasped by the hands, cannot be seized by any action. Alakshanam, it carries no sign, no form, no color, no shape. Achintyam, it cannot be thought. Wherever the mind can reach, Turiya is not there. It is beyond mind. Avyapadeshyam, it cannot be expressed in words. It is where speech itself turns back. Notice what scripture is doing here. It is trying to describe something that cannot be described. It is trying to point to something that cannot be pointed to. That itself is the courage of scripture. And then it says, Ekatma pratyayasaram. Ekatma pratyayasaram. This is the self. This one unshakable experience is its essence. In waking, in dreaming, in deep sleep, across all three states, it is the same one self. And it is avyabhichari. It never wavers, never changes. What was present in waking was present in the dream. It was present in deep sleep too. It is one and the same always. Shankaracharya says it is Shantam, peaceful. And because of this, Shivam, auspiciousness itself. And finally, Advaitam, not two, one alone. This is the self, and this alone is worth knowing. Om Tat Sat. In mantras 8 through 12 of the Mandukya Upanishad, the three matras of Om, A, U, M, and that fourth silent matra, which is Turiya itself, will be opened for us. We will walk through them in the next episode. If this way of exploring consciousness speaks to you, stay with Sarv consciousness. We meet here to sit quietly with the questions that matter most.